Good evening, ladies. We're moving on from the last thing we learned, how complex and how much wisdom it requires, or how much wisdom there is in our world, in our universe. It shows us that this world wasn't created by accident, and such complex creations don't just show up randomly. And now, the most um, expected question is, if it's so logical and makes so much sense, how can you see so many scientists and people of great knowledge and wisdom? How don't they see it? And there are a few reasons to that. And every edit, in Hebrew we say atheist, which means a person who doesn't believe that there is a God. And I'm sure that the English word is so similar, but I'm just not sure what it is. So atheist, maybe. So those people, there are a few reasons why people are like that, and usually it's not just one reason. It's some of them or all of them maybe, and they're blend together. But we're going to try to divide the reasons. How can a person, even though he's full of wisdom, and even a scientist who really knows how much wisdom there is in creation, and still he doesn't believe in God? We're going to explain why. So first of all, we are the first reason is because we're biased, which means, I hope that's the right way to say it, that even though we can be logical, it doesn't matter. Still, our feelings, they influence our judgment and even our logic, and it can make someone blind. When a person, any kind of prejudice, whatever we have in our background, our life experiences, everything we went through, or things we believe in, they influence our way of thinking, and they can tilt our conclusion making or our logic to a certain path, even though it doesn't really make sense. I have someone that I know that I love very, very much, and she's a girl. She went to a school that was very religious, and she came from a family that was religious but wasn't so religious. And being in the school, and the differences between her and the other girls, it made her anti-religion. And now, even though we speak, and she's very logical, and I ask her questions, and she tells me, you're right, I don't have an answer for that. But then it doesn't change anything in her lifestyle or whatever. And she's just, even though she doesn't have an answer to give me, and she knows that logically I'm right, she's not able of doing anything with it because she's just very anti everything religious, and she says it herself, even though she's very logical. So I think that that's a very big component. For example, we can see the people that smoke in Israel, at least on the box of cigarette, legally they have to write that, they have like in bold letters, it says, smoking kills you, don't smoke. And it says so according to the law on every single box of cigarettes. And still people buy these cigarettes. And think about it, a person that holds this box, what does he think to himself? The first thoughts are, okay, I I know that smoking kills. I know that there are thousands of researches that show that smoking kills you. But on the other hand, I love smoking. It calms me down. Maybe there's also like a social element to it. I like smoking, and then maybe I'm addicted to it. There is a battle with inside himself, and eventually, even though he sees these letters and they tell him smoking kills you, he will find excuses and he will say, "No, it won't happen to me." He will find whatever excuse that will enable him to keep on smoking. And he won't have this battle inside of him every time he buys cigarettes. He will have it maybe the first, the second, the third, maybe the 10th time. But after 100 times, he will just buy the cigarettes, and he won't even have this debate in his head. So the same way, with our question, a person trying to determine what this world created, there are implications to this answer. If he gets to the conclusion that this world was created and that there is a creator, there are results to this conclusion, which means there is a creator. What does it mean? First of all, it makes me small. I'm not the whole world anymore. There's something bigger than me. And that's a scary thought. Another thing, it limits my freedom. If there is a creator and he wants something from me, and religion is true, so what does it mean? Now I'll have to dress differently and behave differently and restrict my life? I don't want to do that. And another thing is it will change my values, it will change my beliefs, it will change who I am. It's scary. So these things, even if you don't feel them, even if it goes even under your, like it's in your subconscious, it could influence your decision making, it can influence your logic. Another thing, we can see it with people denying the Holocaust. There are thousands of proofs. There are pictures, there are there are proofs. The places are still there. You can go and see piles and piles of shoes. You can see mountains of ashes. And still there are people who deny it. It doesn't matter how many proofs you'll put in front of their faces. And they will believe in these crazy conspiracy theories because it enables them to believe in this crazy idea that they believe in. So they will believe that it was made up by the Israelis to give them the legitimacy to establish a state. They will bring up crazy, crazy ideas and they will really believe them because they don't want to believe that there was a Holocaust. It's already getting old, it's getting long, and look how much I prepared. And there's also another side. I'm always overreaching. Thank you for joining me, and we'll move on the next video. Have a good evening. Bye.